I want to start with a little tour of all my most important settlements. First thing you want to note is this provisioner walking by. You'll see that he's wearing some colorful armor. That's a mod that allows you to change the paint and the decal. And then I was reading on Reddit, you should put mining helmets on the provisioners so at night you can actually see them as they're walking across the wasteland and not shoot them. So all my provisioners have the mining helmet. I've left Sanctuary pretty much as I designed it from the start, and then as I learned more, my other settlements are much more improved. But like everyone, when it comes to defense, you assume the raiders are going to come across the bridge, so I set up this little serpentine of fences, with the idea being if they're surrounded by guns, as they're going their way through here, they're going to get chopped to pieces. You can see all my settlers have this really bright orange combat armor, because I found out that in a firefight I was shooting as many settlers as I was raiders, so these make really great "don't shoot me" signs. Over on the riverfront I got two large water purifiers, and I had to set up guns because raiders and animals were crossing the river to damage the water purifiers or sneak attack the settlement. And then I've got basically extended the picket fence to keep people out. Over time I managed to accumulate quite a number of suits of power armor, so I wanted to set up a little showcase for the better pieces. So that's what I got here. Got the little craft station with a work in progress on an X1. And we start with T45s, and then we got T51s. Here's one that's got the railroad paint scheme. And I got a T60 with the rocket pack on, or jet pack on the back. My pride and joy, the X1 in flames with a jet pack. And then here's the Atom Cats T60. Raider Power Armor version 1. Raider Power Armor version 2. So here's the main house. Put a guard shack up on top, with the idea being I've got a ladder around back. I can run up and defend the settlement. You see I've got guns pointing in. I've had rad scorpions kind of dig through the dirt, so I need internal defenses. Plus you might find out that sometimes when one of your people turns out to be a synth, the whole settlement starts shooting at each other, so got guns to basically shoot your settlers when they're bad. Set up this little shack here to put my vendors in, and I clothed all my vendors in a nice three-piece suit kind of thing and a fedora, so that they all kind of look like the Vault-Tec rep. Also noticed that raiders and wildlife were coming in from this road from Vault 111, so set up a picket fence to funnel in them to the gun here. Got a gun up there, and then a guy at this post. As far as I know, no one's managed to survive to get through here, so it seems to work. And other than my steamer trunk full of legendary gear, that is pretty much my sanctuary. Next up, Red Rocket Truck Stop. I really hadn't intended to build here, but I saw some really cool videos of things that people had done on YouTube. And I also thought, I need a place to show off all the power armor I've collected, and it seemed like putting it along the edges of the roof would make a good place to put them. So as you can see here, once I got on top, I decided to see just how high I could build, and got pretty far. And of course it's not physically possible to build something that high with just those two ladders holding it up, but we'll go for realism later. So build a wall around the entire structure. Also put this secondary fence in to keep raiders from coming through here, so they have to get funneled through here. Then they gotta make this turn where they're met with a gun. And there's a rocket launcher up there. And I put up this wall because raiders tend to like to throw grenades or use missiles, and that would destroy my little farm. So the gas station itself I just used to put in. There's a chem station back there with the different armor and weapon workbenches. Left the power armor thing in place. I've got suit in progress, and then of course every garage has to have that old beat up car that's continuously being, going to be rebuilt. So here's an X01 waiting for parts to rebuild it. I didn't set up a recruiting beacon. I forcibly sent people here, the excess from other settlements, because I didn't want this to become a really big settlement. It's mostly just for showing off stuff. So we've got a few people here. Got a bar, got a place for the people to hang out. One thing you'll
Raiders
notice,
thought we were easy pickings.
of course this guy's going to make a liar of me. Settlers aren't allowed to have hats. I've decided it's too hard to figure out who's been assigned to stuff and who hasn't, so take everybody's hats off.
Lost track
and if
of
they're
how
wearing
many
a hat,
blisters I got.
then they've been assigned to something. So here's a vendor that's wearing a synth helmet. So go up first set of ladders. Go to second level.
My back
and
hurts.
this is a
My feet
mod that
hurt.
actually allows you,
Everything hurts.
these are weapons boards, so you can use them like containers. The only problem I found out after I got them set up is it doesn't show the mods on the weapons. You only see the plain Jane vanilla systems. But if I can get the, there we go. So you can see this is a high-speed shredding minigun. There should be a bunch of blades and stuff hanging off the end of that barrel, but there's not. Same thing with these miniguns. I've got the Ash Maker, a high-powered shredding minigun, but
I think you should stay on point.
medium-sized weapons,
Your
heavy
instincts seem to
weapons.
be right on target.
Got my magazine racks. Yeah, they don't show up what they actually are, so these are all legendaries that I'm not using. Nothing on that board. Some more legendaries. Except for that one. Here's all the neat melee weapons. But again, no mods show up. This board was for throwables, so I've got different types of grenades. Got my bobblehead collection. There's 3 more I still need to locate. A little platform for the power generators. This platform has nothing except walls. This is a living space for my settlers. No frills, just beds. And then here's a little place for everybody to hang out. View the wasteland. Look down on Concord. And then a little private crow's nest. It's this area. There's Sanctuary. With a high-powered rifle, you can actually shoot stuff from here. Next stop is Starlight Drive-In. So, knew this would make a great place to channel enemies, so put up the gate, put a wall around it, put in some walls. See, we've got guns facing out. Got one gun facing in, also to keep them from coming up on the platform here. Didn't do much with this area. But I knew when I first saw this, I immediately wanted to set it up like most drive-ins nowadays. You don't see movies at a drive-in anymore. They use the space for flea markets. So I wanted to have water purifiers in the center and then just run electrical lines through the center and then have vendors set up to the left and the right, but also wanted to have it elevated so it's more defensible.
You know what I call a good day? One that ends without an empty stomach.
Also want to do something in metal because all of my structures are generally in wood. Good. So here's vendors, and most of my vendors have the yellow flight helmets because you can get them everywhere. Raiders wear a lot of them, so they're easy to pick up, easy to buy from other vendors. Uniforms, usually the Brotherhood of Steel uniform or the Minuteman uniform. I've also been picking up road leather.
Yes?
Road leathers look really nice with that really bright orange combat armor. But anyway, this space just has combined sleep space and vendors. And then for defense, I've got guns pointing out, guns pointing in. And the same thing, the screen here, I've got it set up. Had to put this little barrier in because people were going up the ladder and getting stuck up there. But I can jump over it. Oh, never mind. Somebody figured out how to get across the barrier. Now they're stuck up
Out here?
This is my main set of defense. Guns pointing out, guns pointing in. Like everyone that first comes to Spectacle Island, I was overwhelmed with just how much space you're given, the entire island. But since the workbench already had a little shack around it and was sitting up on the top of the highest point, I decided that's where I'm going to build my castle. So I run power because I accidentally cleared all the trees that already had the power lines running. And then from the castle I learned how to use concrete block construction, so I created my base and then build up in layers. The other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to have the kind of this tiered layered defense. So on the bottom layer, closest to the ground, would be your machine guns, and then overlapping that at another tier would be heavy lasers and missiles. The idea being anyone tries to attack any side of the fortress is just going to get cut to pieces. Plus I've got gaps where people can go out there and shoot down on the bad guys. So I've created my little elevated structure here. Put in these orange lights so that at night you know where the ramps are. Because I try to have multiple entry and exit points, because I found that the settlers kind of get lost. So I figured if I give them multiple entry and exit points, they'll at least be able to get in and get out fine. So the first level, that's where we've got our vendors. Again, everybody's got the yellow flight helmets. Got lights so they can see. You got a view on all sides. Got a little box for storing stuff next to the workbench. Go to the next level.
Give me a laser rifle and my power armor, and I'll take on the world.
So here, if I need additional defenses, I got plenty of space to put down guns. And just like my other settlements, I also got guns pointing in case anybody gets inside or there's a revolt. Any direction on the island that somebody attacks from, they're going to get repelled. Well, although so far after all this work, no one's bothered to attack. So, let's go up to the next level. So, sleeping quarters. Again, no frills. I do need to put up some paintings, some other things to increase happiness, but I really haven't decorated this area.
Huh?
Alright, so the roof level. We've got our wind turbines to provide power, and then we've got interleaved, overlapping kind of defense where we've got missiles on the left, heavy laser on the right, and again, anyone tries to attack, they're going to get cut to pieces by both layers of defense. Again, we got missile on the left, and heavy laser, and all the way around. And that's the only building I actually did on Spectacle Island.
Get back to
Last destination on our tour is Grey Garden, and this is my pride and joy. my initial goal when I first started building here was just to see if I could get up onto that bottom layer of the highway, and did it. It was kind of crude, and put beds up there, so I had ladders so that everybody could get up to the beds. And I figured that's about as high as you can go. And then I saw on YouTube that somebody had actually built a structure on the top layer. So I immediately set about figuring out how to get up there. And so this is the end result. So all the Grey Garden's been attacked quite a bit. Defense have been really good about deterring them. So I really haven't done much in the way of putting a wall around it, other than just putting in this fence to kind of channel them so that they can get cut to pieces. Because I've had problems where if I put anything in this area, it got destroyed. So I initially had my vendors sitting down here and had a bigger set of crops. It just kept getting blown up. Used to have a big shack over here. It was actually the prefab big shack.
Yes?
We moved everything up top. So we got 2 sets of ladders because it seems like there's never enough ladders, or people are always in the way, and the settlers are getting lost trying to figure out where to go. Their pathing AI kind of screws up.
Yes?
So this layer is where we've got workbenches, scavenging benches,
Huh?
and then now we're up on the actual highway itself. So we've got some sleeping bags set out here, got some benches, sofas, whatever, for people to kind of view stuff. Had to put some little steps, but kind of see the wasteland. And I've got my first way to get up to the top level, and this is how I got up the first initially, and then started building. But I started finding that people like to come and hang out in this old bus, so I put a few sleeping bags in here for them. And then I figured out how to build out, and then there's a mod, it's called Buildable Ramps, and so that's what I used to build this wide pathway to get up higher. So build it up to this level, and then threw up one of these sets of stairs. Got my orange light to let me know where the stairs are when it's dark. But this is where everybody comes to hang out, and where the vendors are, the vendor shops. So we got a pool table, got the bar with place to sit, drink, smoke cigarettes, whatever. Got a little vendor, food vendor thing, Nuka-Cola, weapons, clothing vendors, got their little display, medic, got a picnic table, a grill, got one set of steps up to the top. Down to the highway itself. A lot of times there's a checkpoint down here that comes under attack, so I can run to the edge over here and defend the checkpoint without having to go down there. But this is outside the buildable area. Actually, I think these are right the very edge
Doesn't
of
it
the
feel
buildable
good
area.
to be a part of something as
But
important?
what's
as
nice is the
brotherhood?
fact that this is one level, and then you can see we go up another 4 levels. So the build level seems to be based on wherever the highest structure you start from is. But we go up, up, up. And this is kind of where I started hitting the build level limit. And I realized if I threw a prefab shack on top that's got a second floor, that's going to punch through that build limit. The only problem is, when it comes to decoration, those lights are the top of the build limit. So anything above that becomes red, which is why you can see I've got, I could put down lamps, I could put down sleeping surfaces, but, and I don't know if I have any decoration in here because basically you'd have to put it on the floor. That's all the further it can go. But now, on the second level, even though I can't decorate it, I can see for miles.
It's over. For now.
And then I've got this little extended walkway that goes all the way around. One thing you'll notice are these side rails. I really don't like a lot of games that you play, even like futuristic space games. They wouldn't have guardrails here. For whatever reason, the level designers figured, well, nobody needs to have guardrails in the future because everyone isn't stupid enough to walk off the edge. But I've got guardrails, or I've got railing along all my edges, because that's a long way down. And so this is a secondary way to get up. I don't do a lot of electrical stuff up here, so a small generator. Got my extra gas. Recruiting beacon as high as it can get, so the signal goes far and wide. Little chair so you can view the wasteland. And then again, a secondary way with 2 ladders to get up here.